Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would show you a little something different. So I have a horse of my own. Her name is Jewell. If you don't know already, she's Dance Smart. Jewell is her registered name. She just turned 5 years old. And I wanted to show you guys what it's like to have a horse that has gone through the fundamentals up until the intermediate level. We're working on the advanced level now, but just the groundwork. So as you see behind me, these aren't just any ordinary trash cans. And you'll see why in a second. But this is one of the exercises that we're working on now in the advanced series. Be right back, I gotta get my horse. Yeah, don't pay attention to the horse running around in the background. That is not my horse. If she was my horse, she wouldn't be as crazy. I mean, it's cool that horses, run around in their paddocks and stuff, but this horse just doesn't get any attention. Nobody does anything with her. So that's pretty sad. But I just wanted to show you guys my horse, Jewell. You want to turn around so they can see your pretty face? Yielding the forequarters at a distance. This is Jewell. She has gone through the fundamentals, the intermediate, now we're working on the advanced stuff. She's a very good girl. She's a registered quarter horse. And I'm going to start off with desensitizing just like I would any other horse. But I just breeze through it because I know she's good about it. Except for her butt. She tends to flinch her butt, so I'm working on her not flinching. Good girl. She didn't flinch. Get her attention back. Yeah, she's only about 14 hands tall, but I really do like the short horses. Yeah, good girl. She lowered her head and she didn't flinch, so I can move on to her neck. Back legs. Good girl. Front legs. Her stance is still like half in the the four-quarter stance. She's like afraid to move. You can move, girl. All right, now I'll show you guys her flex. I just take my 2 fingers on the lead rope and pull to her withers. Wait till her nose touches the stirrup. If she didn't have a saddle on, I'd wait till her nose touched her belly, her girth area. So you want to keep her belly button facing her flank. And I'll tell you more about flexing once I teach Leo and Oakley how to flex. Get her to change sides. Good girl. Desensitize this side. And all the same rules still apply with desensitizing and a more advanced horse. See, her butt's flinching there. There, it didn't flinch. Retreat and rubber. You still want to stand at a 45-degree angle to their shoulder. Why is your butt so flinchy today? Here you go, good girl. She didn't flinch. Good. Good. Retreat and rubber. Girl. You're a cutie pie, aren't ya? Yeah. She has wonderful bloodlines. She actually has smart little Lena in her bloodline. It's like her great grandpa or something. But she definitely is smart. Get my stick and string. Just do the same thing. I might add a little flare here and there. You'll see. Alright, so she lowered her head on her back, moved to her hindquarters. Girl, move to her neck. Good girl. Back legs. Front legs. And if you didn't desensitize your horse, even though they're at a such high level of training, if you stop desensitizing your horse altogether, they start getting spooky and jumpy. It's like in a matter of weeks, you know, so every horse is different, but if I didn't desensitize her, she would probably get spooky and jumpy within a couple of days. Maybe not a couple of days, maybe more like 5 days to a week. If I worked with her, trained on her, just did sensitizing exercises where you move their feet forwards, backwards, left, and right, and didn't desensitize her, I think probably after a week she would get really jumpy. So you always have to balance it out between desensitizing and sensitizing. Good girl. Good girl. Now this is a more further down the fundamentals exercises for the desensitizing. This one's called slap and walk. And eventually I'm going to be able to do this with Oakley and Leo. Even going crisscross, even going figure eights right behind her. So you see that bothered her just a little bit, so I'll retreat and rub her when she relaxes, then try again. Good girl. Moving on. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Lower her head and neck. That's a great sign of relaxing. There. Okay. So, well, the first thing I'm going to do is retighten my cinch. Always do your cinch up in 3 phases. We'll talk more about that later. I'll show you guys some lunging. We'll just do lunging for spec stage 1, just to get her warmed up for what I have planned for her later. You point up high, and she has an energetic departure right away. Don't need the stickage string. I'm just gonna have her trot around me. And see how she's got all that slack in the lead rope? She really bends around me. I don't have to slide down the lead rope. I just look at her hindquarters as she turns to face me. And she comes in because I encourage her to come in. Very good jump away, honey. Good departure. Yeah. Just want to get her limbs warmed up before we start the next exercise. This is going to be, the next exercise is going to be the advanced exercise. Girl, point. Get her a little bit further away from me. I like it that she wants to be close to me because she knows that's where she gets her rest. And I'm also working on getting her to staying closer to me for later on when we do liberty work. I just look at her hindquarters, send her out. Good girl. I love how she jumps away like that. Yeah. She does amazing rollbacks. She's really built for them. Feel her hindquarters. There. That was a little bit of a lazy departure, but as you can see, the sand's pretty deep. This half of the arena, I actually dug out the sand by myself with a shovel. Good girl. See that rollback, that little rollback right there? That was awesome. So I took a flathead shovel and took the top layer of sand off. But I've only done that half. And then I'm going to work on this half next, just to make better footing. Everything you see here on camera, I built, you know, aside from the buildings, but the fencing, the gates. This is the arena that I built. All right, so she's good with that. She seems pretty warmed up. Let's see. So first I'm going to just use the sending exercise to get her acquainted with the jump again. So this is the advanced exercise I'm talking about. It's jumping and crossing over obstacles. So when she's comfortable with that, you move on to sending her around all three sides of the trash cans. Good girl. That's why I have the front and back protective boots on her, because we're going to be jumping. And they're classic equine legacy 2 boots, and they are amazing. And it's part of the gear that I need for the academy, so just make sure that you can control your horse on all three sides of an obstacle before you send them through it or over it. Normally I would open up the barrels and have a gap in the middle and send her through that. But we've been working on this exercise for a couple days now. I don't really think she needs them, but we'll find out when I send her. Alright, let's back her up. See how light a horse can be with the method. This is just wiggling my finger. It's because the lead rope didn't have any slack in it. There she goes. Alright, so I'm just going to send her off. Good girl. Ask her to jump it. She totally cut me off, but that's okay. Just let her keep going. Good. And let's just get one side good before we lunge her the other side. See how she's pulling on the lead rope and stuff? I want to get that gone before I switch to the other side. Just pull and release on her. Remember how I'd pull and release on Oakley in the circle? You want to do the same thing. See what she did right there? She refused. This no big deal. Just back her up. Ask again with energy. It's okay. Back her up. Ask again. Good girl. Let the rope slide through my hand a little bit so she doesn't feel trapped. Good girl. Pull and release. Good, you got your correct leads. Good girl. Pull and release. I think on this next one I can yield her hindquarters. Yield. Good girl. She wants to come in for a little breather. That's fine with me. Good girl. Oh, you're such a good girl. Really wound up the other horse. She's, I think, a 2-year-old or something. I don't know. But Jewell started the method when she was 2, and now she's 5. Alright, let's send her the other way. What you do on one side, you always do on the other. She's gonna cut me off, that's fine. I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. So the trick with the jump, 2 eyes please. The trick with the jump is to wind their feet up before they get to the jump. Not like right before, but like out here. Wind her up there. Leave her alone here. Let her jump. I can already tell she's getting tired. That's all right. She's a lot better going to the right than the left. Oh, If you can clear it without touching it, we'll stop, okay? You tell she's not. You can tell she's not pulling on me as much on the lead rope on this side. Oh! So if that happens, you just fix it real quick and then send her off right away. So you don't want her to think she got a rest. Good girl. Yield. Come on in. Come on. Yes. I love it when my horse trots up to me, so I've been encouraging that a lot. Good girl. Let her get her air. Good girl. All right. So I'm going to desensitize her again. Let her know that desensitizing means rest. And what's our most important commodity right now is air. Yeah, it's air. Well, now that we did some groundwork, I can tighten up her cinch some more. Yeah. All right. Girl, never hurts to throw in a flex here and there. Good girl. Just make sure she's still soft and supple. You'll find that when I start riding her, you'll see that she's super soft and supple. And that is all credit to the method and me following it step by step without skipping any steps. Alright, she's pretty good with the desensitizing. So I'm actually going to get rid of these garbage cans. She'll just stand there like a good girl. Okay, good girl. Did I forget your bridle? I always forget your bridle. Oh my goodness. What is wrong with me? I always forget her bridle jigs. Always. I'm just going to leave the camera running so you guys can see that she really stands when I ground tie her. And it's funny, I didn't actually teach her how to ground tie. It just came natural to her as we're learning the method. She just gets better and better every day. All right, sweetheart. Hey, I forgot this. Oh, I could show you guys how I put a bridle on a horse. I like to get there. See how she flinched a little bit? I'll just keep doing it till she's comfortable. So the way I put a bridle on a horse is I get their head in this submissive position. Yeah, she doesn't know anything else. She will take it away sometimes, but for the most part, she's pretty good. So put the bridle in your right hand. She'll take the bit on her own. If she doesn't, I just put my thumb in the corner of her mouth very gently. Flip it over the farthest ear, then the closest ear. Pull the bangs out. And she's not allowed to take her head away until I'm done putting the bridle on. See, like right there, she wants to take her head away. See, there we go. So the first thing I do with her normally when I put the bridle on her is, after I mount, I'll show you. I think I'm getting ahead of myself because the sun will be setting soon. This thing is driving me nuts. I'm not sure. It's cold enough to even wear this thing anymore. This hat underneath my helmet. There, if I just do that, that's more comfortable. Okay. Now I gotta set my Makati lead rope part to the right length. Make sure your reins are even. Around the horn. It's just a little bit longer than the reins. And do a half hitch. A little bit longer. I find once you do that first half hitch, it gets a little bit shorter than what you set it at. And then you just keep doing half hitches around the horn until the end of the lead rope, the end of your Makati, is about level with her knee. And that's a safe distance right there. All right, and then you can use this for a spanker if you need a little bit more encouragement. So what I do when I mount her, I don't normally always bend her head, but when you're first getting on a horse, you want to bend their head at least 90 degrees. But I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. I left my stick on the ground, didn't I? Well, anyway, the first thing I want to do when I mount is flex her laterally. Make sure she's really good at that. Good girl. As you can see, I'm barely pulling on the rein. Is just 2 fingers, slide it down, pull to your hip, throw it away. The quicker you release, the quicker a horse will understand. So actually, I'm going to get rid of my stick so we don't trip over it. You just act casual around your horse, you know? The more you act like they're gonna get scared, the more they will get scared. Okay. Good girl for standing there. You're such a good girl. Alright, so what I do on one side of the horse, I do on the other. So I just mounted and dismounted from the left. Now I'm gonna mount from the right. Good girl. And then I'm going to repeat the flexing. Every time I get on a horse, always do this lateral flexion, because lateral flexion leads to vertical flexion. And vertical flexion is if you pick up on 2 reins, that's her first response, is to put her head down. Give to that bit. I don't care what her head looks like, where she carries it, as long as she's light to this bit pressure, and she wins. So with the method, you could train your horse to vertically collect with just 2 fingers on the reins at any gait. We haven't done quite too much cantering. The vertical flexion, it's actually not one of the exercises yet. It's later on in the advanced series. But I have played around with it a little bit, and she gives pretty good. So one of the other exercises that I've done with her, good girl, in intermediate groundwork or intermediate riding exercises is down and around. So you vertically flex and then you laterally flex. Vertical, lateral, vertical, lateral. And you don't want her pull to get higher than your saddle horn. Good girl. Okay, now we can start. Let's go this way first, honey. Gotta blow my nose. Alright. I had to blow my nose. It's still really cold out. But anyway, I want to show you guys the 5 body parts and how soft and supple they are. So first is the pole, which you saw at a standstill. but we can do vertical flexion. She's a little confused because we always follow the fence, but I'm trying to stay in front of the fence for the camera. So we got to turn a little early. But you can do vertical flexion at the walk. And just test that out, see how good that's going. And then what I've been working on is her staying in the vertical flexion without brain pressure. There. 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 Good girl. All right. The next body part you want to check out was their head and neck, which we did with the lateral flexion. But another lateral exercise you can do is bending at the walk or bending transitions, where you pull your horse's head towards your toe, but you hold the rein to your hip and you put your leg on, and when she gives, you take your leg off and put your hand on your knee. So it's a suppling exercise, so it's inside leg, inside rein. If it's a guiding exercise, then it's outside leg, inside rein. And see how my hand is down on my knee and there's slack in the rein? I'm not holding her there. She's just supposed to keep her nose in that position on her own. Girl, just like that. And then we check out the other side. Good girl. And it's a forward and around exercise, so if she kind of gets slow like this, I'll put a little more inside leg on till she speeds up. Because you can't train a horse without forward motion. And if she goes too slow, she'll start to pivot. That's really not what you want. Alright, so that's like the head, neck, pull, rib cage. That was a good exercise to see how light and supple her rib cage is. You see that inside hind foot stepping underneath herself. So this hind foot is stepping underneath herself. Opposite is this inside hind foot is stepping underneath herself. That means she's really, really flexible in the old rib cage here. So, what else? The shoulders. You want to make sure this is. Okay, I'm like turning this video into a learning video, and I didn't mean to do that. I just really love the method, and I really want to teach it someday to everybody. But anyway, you want to make sure that her shoulders are pliable and you can move them how you want. So we're going to go from a bend, which is inside rein, inside leg, switch legs into a little turnaround there, and then bend her back out. So you want to make sure her shoulders are listening to your cues. Outside leg. Make her look where she's going. If I cluck to her, she'll go a bit faster. There she goes. I really want to do reining someday, and I think my horse has what it takes because of the method. So let's try the other side. Bending at a walk. And no one has helped me train her. I trained her all on my own. Switch legs and get her to spin around this way. Good girl. Woo, good girl. Yeah, that's so much fun. It's like my favorite ever. Oh, another good shoulder exercise is shoulder in, shoulder out. She gets a little confused. There she goes. She didn't get confused at all on that one. Other side. Good girl. Good job. All right, so we covered the pole, the head and neck, the shoulders, the rib cage, and the fifth body part is the hindquarters. You want to be able to yield your horse's hindquarters 360 degrees or more, with just a light feel on the rein, light feel on your leg. Wait till she gives, and go the other way. Make sure she's not heavy on the bit. Good girl. Wait till she touches your boot strap, jean, or fender, and then flex her the other way. Good girl. Huh? And then also, you can get a horse as light like this, even in the backup. Sometimes I don't even need the reins. Like right there. Good girl. So your legs encourage her feet to move, even in the backup. Now I'll show you guys more towards the camera here so you can see my legs. My legs are alternating, bumping her. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then when she gives to the bit, I give back to her. And if I just lean back, whoa, she knows to back until she hears that word, whoa. Yeah, these are just some of the really cool things you could do with the method, and the things that I'm super excited about teaching Oakley and Leo to do. They're not going to move like her, because they're thoroughbreds, but they are capable of doing these things as well. I just love the spin so much. Okay, you can also, she also knows vertical flexion at the trot. Good girl. And I can stop her with my seat at the trot. Back her up. Girl. Do a little roll back. Go the other way. Vertical flexion. Is that a trot? You're such a good girl. Stop her with my seat. No reins. Back her up. Roll her back into the fence. Good girl. So we haven't really worked too much on the vertical flexion at the canter. We more or less been working on the correct lead at the canter. She has a really easy time picking up her left lead, but a really hard time picking up her right lead. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. See, she had a really easy time picking up that left lead. I think. Yeah, she's on her left lead. I can stop her with my seat from the canter, back her up. Whoa, good girl. So, yep, flexing, lateral. All this lateral flexion is what creates all this vertical flexion. So now I'm going to get our canter to the right. So in order for me to get the correct canter lead, I have to set her up for it. With the left lead, she just does it naturally, but with the right lead, I have to yield her hindquarters to the right, get it nice and spinny. You gotta get her feet wound up. Then kiss to her. Hopefully she took the correct lead. Let me just check. I'm not good enough to... Oh, no, she's in the wrong lead. So restart it. Just yield her hindquarters. And this is where the spanker comes in handy because she's not yielding very fast. There we go. All right. Yeah, that felt like. Yep. Now she's in the right lead. So now I just practice cantering her on a loose rein. on the correct lead. That's a good girl. And I'll show you guys a little bit of the vertical flexion at the canter. A little bit. Ooh, that was a big rock. Gotta get rid of that. Let her see how comfortable it is to take that correct lead. So I let her practice cantering on it, and that's usually when I end the session. And then I can stop her with my seat. She would be a phenomenal reining horse, I'm telling you. She would, I think with the back sliders on her feet, I think she would really, drag her ass across the dirt like a champion reiner. Whoa, good girl. There. And I just wanted to show you guys all the stuff that my horse can do and what all this training will lead up to. So when I go to rest her, I'm just going to walk her out a little bit so she can catch her breath. You know, like what's our most important commodity right now? It's air. So where you rest your horse is very important. So what I choose to do is rest her in the middle of the arena. Yeah. Get her flexing and flexing vertically. Good girl. Now let her catch her air in the middle of the arena. And I just wanted to show you guys what training with the method can lead up to. And the first time I rode her, before I bought her, she was 2 years old, she tried to buck me off. Now look at her. Bought her when she was 2, but she turned 3 the next month. So really she's only had 2 years worth of the method trained on her. But she just turned 5 in October. I bought her in September. October she turned 3. And then till October she turned 4. That's 1 year. And then till this October now she's 5. So that's 2 years worth of the method training on her. I hope you guys can see my passion for the method and wanting to become a Clinton Anderson ambassador. A method ambassador, you know, going to the academy and graduating and creating beautiful horses like this, you know, just soft in your hands, soft on your legs, just awesome, you know, who wouldn't want that? Nobody ever complains that their horse is too soft or listens too much. Good girl. So this is a result of the method, and it's only going to get better. We haven't done the advanced, the rest of the advanced groundwork exercises, and then we have the advanced riding exercises to do. And after that, we can do trick training and liberty. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. And like bridleless riding and stuff like that. So if you guys like what you see, please click the link in the description box below. That'll take you to my GoFundMe page. I really think that I have the skill set to become a method ambassador and actually graduate, you know, and actually be invited back and become a professional clinician. I feel like I have that skill set. And talking to you guys on this camera day after day, I think has made me better at teaching the method as well. A good girl. Yeah, a good girl. I think she aired up pretty quick. She's in great shape. Yeah, anyway, please don't forget to like and subscribe. thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm very passionate about it, as you can see, and well, I just hope you guys understand how important it is for me to get out there in the horse industry and like blow people's minds, you know? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and have a beautiful day. Yeah, you did so good. Yeah, you did so good.